Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I thought Sharknado would be my last video, but I wanted to do this one little movie review. I won't upload it till much later, a few days later, or Thursday or Friday maybe. Um, it's Monday morning, and 6:27 a.m. I gotta be getting some sleep because I start my night shift 6 p.m. tonight. So, but I wanted to do a review of this because I've been looking for this movie for a long time. Ever since I remember seeing commercials of it a long time ago because it's made in 1978 and it stars Henry Winkler. Now they were trying to capitalize off his success from Happy Days playing the Fonz, and the Fonz was such a popular, iconic character back then. I remember the guys we always wanted to be like the Fonz. You know, set back in the 50s as little kids, like in elementary school, we wanted to be like the Fonz. And I remember seeing two commercials of two movies he did. One was Heroes. I haven't seen Heroes yet. That might be on YouTube. I don't know. And the other one was The One and Only, directed by Carl Reiner. I've been wanting to see both those movies, and actually I forgot about those movies until Carl Reiner was on Jimmy Kimmel like 5 6 years ago, and Jimmy Kimmel was talking about it being his favorite movie because talking about Henry Winkler becoming a pro wrestler in the movie. I said, hell, I gotta see this because I forgot all about the movie. I might have been able to find it when I was in the army, but I forgot all about it. Well, anyways, it's on YouTube. It's the one and only. It's broken into 7 parts. And the weird thing is, there's a whole bunch of one and only stuff, like all the stuff from Adele, and then like another movie called The One and Only. A whole bunch of one and only stuff. You gotta really search it out. It says The One and Only Henry Winkler, Part One, and it goes to the 7 parts. You know, when sometimes that happens when upload movies. Sometimes you'll see movies divided in different parts if it's not the whole movie. It helps having it on Roku and stuff like that, but sometimes it'll go to another video and it won't be that same part. It'll skip to like part 7, the last part and stuff. Then you gotta go back. It's kind of a pain. Well, it's a pain in the ass on Roku. It's easier to find it on VHS. I mean on VHS on the computer. Well, anyways, what this movie is directed by Carl Reiner. It's right in between right between the movies Oh God and The Jerk that he directed, because Oh God was in 77, The Jerk was in 79, and The One and Only was in 78. It's starring Henry Winkler. Uh, my dad knows the girl that starred alongside Rooster Cogburn, John Wayne, in True Grit, and I think it was in True Grit and also in Rooster Cogburn. And who else was there? William Daniels, the voice from Kit from Knight Rider, and a whole bunch of other people you might have seen before, but I can't remember their names and stuff, or familiar faces you never know their names. And this came out when I was in elementary school. This movie, '78, and basically what it features is Henry Winkler plays a really incredibly obnoxious guy, kind of a jerk, but it's funny. But he's kind of a jerk though, and people just laugh at him. And he's a ham actor. He wants to get into acting really bad, right? And he ends up meeting this one girl, that girl played alongside John Wayne, and he kind of pressures her into going out with him, and he kind of messes with her mind somewhat. He's kind of a real jerk. And then she thinks he's funny, but it's really strange how he pulls strings and stuff like that. And they end up getting married, and they move into like this real dumpy apartment in New York. Oh, and her mother's played by the girl who plays Flo on Alice, Polly Holiday too, by the way. And her dad is played by William Daniels, who does the voice of Kit from Knight Rider. Well, anyways, they go in this flea-bitten hotel, and he's still trying to look for acting jobs. And then he ends up meeting the guy from Fantasy Island, Henry Vilches, who plays Tattoo. And he said, you should become a wrestler. And you said you're an actor, you're funny and stuff like that. Why don't you try wrestling? He trains him somewhat, and then Henry Winkler becomes a wrestler. And I don't want to give away anything else. He does all these different characters. And it's a comedy, though. There's lots of funny stuff in it. And it's set in the 50s. And this is like old style wrestling. And right before the advent of TV, and then TV comes into play like the last half hour. I don't want to give anything away, but it does. And this is like the old school 50s wrestling, not the whole rock and roll connection that Vince started in the '84 with the WWE and the way it went up. Like this is the old fashioned wrestling, the old '50s style wrestling, right? And he has all these crazy characters. And there's actually two wrestlers in there. There's one of the Guerreros. It's either Chavo Guerrero or Gory Guerrero. I didn't see the ending credit went by so quick. And a very, very, well, they were young too. And a very, 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 very young Roddy Piper is in there. He plays a really good guy, clean cut soldier guy. You'll never recognize him before because he never talks about the movie. I read his autobiography and I thought his first movie was Hell Comes to Frogtown. And then he did like Body Slam and a whole bunch of other stuff. But no, I guess One and Only was his first movie. I assume it was his first movie, but he was really super young in this one. And it's a very entertaining movie. It's a lot of fun. I bet you Tony Talant would like this. I wonder if he even knows about it. I have to let him know. So I give the One and Only a 9 out of 10. It's very entertaining, very fun. It's it takes a while for him to get into wrestling, but I mean it's like a journey. But he's kind of a jerk, and then you have to see how he changes and stuff like that. But it's a really good movie. I think you'll all enjoy it. So, The One and Only from 1978, starring Henry Winkler, directed by Carl Reiner. Now I gotta see if I can find Heroes, the other movie he was in, when they're trying to capitalize on his success from Happy Days. So until next time, everybody, take care, my legion.